as Henry Altman waited in traffic on his way to a doctor's appointment. He mentally added things to the list of what he hated, like subwoofers and small cars. Also on this list were dog poop, car alarms, and confusing parking signs. He also hated double strollers, people showing their butt cracks, and various newspapers. The list continued with men's colognes, bubblegum, bicycles, and hamsters. He hated garbage trucks, neighbors, metal detectors, and TV remote controls. Greeting cards, flip-flops, and cheap haircut flyers also made the list. He despised the Weather Channel, the smell of urine, and new mothers. Credit card offers, private phone numbers, and road construction annoyed him. He hated large umbrellas, the subway line, airports, and highways. ATM fees, 99-cent stores, radio personalities, and the internet were also on his list. His day gets worse when a taxi runs a red light and crashes into him. Henry immediately unleashes his fury on the taxi driver. The driver claims the light was yellow, which only enrages Henry more. He threatens to have the driver's license revoked and send him back where he came from. Meanwhile, Dr. Sharon Gill was consumed by her own grief. She was mourning her own cat, Harold. 3 days earlier, Harold had jumped out of her window. She later discovered this was not uncommon for cats. Sharon understood that Harold was a trigger. She was emotionally exhausted. No one had mentioned this reality when she was a medical student. Back then, she believed she would save the world, one patient at a time. No one told her that caring had limits, while need did not. She wondered, not for the first time, if poor, dear Harold hadn't made the right choice. Henry, furious about his weight, finally confronts a doctor. He meets Dr. Gill, who is covering for his regular physician. She reviews his chart, questioning his age and her ability to practice medicine. She delivers the news: the scan shows an aneurysm. Henry panics, recalling his uncle who died suddenly from the same condition. He demands to know how much time he has left. Dr. Gill insists she doesn't know. He mocks her, suggesting a sick cat is needed to elicit any feeling from her. He keeps pressing her for a number, anything. Cornered and overwhelmed, she blurts out a number. 90, she says. 90 what? He asks. Minutes, she replies, in a moment of pure frustration. Henry looks at his watch, which belonged to his father who lived to be 90. He declares that at 6:22 p.m., he will still be alive and smiling. He storms out, promising to have her fired. Even though Henry knew 90 minutes was illogical. The more he thought about her prognosis, her curse, the more it gained weight. He wondered if he was in denial about the 90 minutes. What if he, Henry Altman, was really going to die at 6:22? Word spreads around the hospital that Sharon told a patient he had 90 minutes to live. She panics, confessing to a colleague that she lost control. The colleague is shocked she let a man with a brain aneurysm just walk out. She's been trying to locate him all morning without success. Her colleague warns her of the consequences: she could be suspended or lose her license. Sharon realizes she has to do the right thing and get Henry admitted to the hospital. Henry bursts into his brother's meeting, asking what a client should do with 90 minutes left to live. His brother, Aaron, tells a joke but ends with a piece of advice. Tell your client to go home, make love to his wife one last time, and be happy. Aaron tells him that in the end, all we have is family. Henry decides to take the advice and rushes home. Sharon gets more bad news. A radiologist confirms Henry's artery wall is bleeding. He could, in fact, drop dead at any moment. Sharon rushes to Henry's office, where she meets his brother, Aaron. Meanwhile, Henry was overcome with the urge to make love to his wife one last time. But there were concerns. First, he couldn't remember the last time they'd been together, maybe a year ago, or more. Of course, there was Henry's biggest concern, his ability to perform. So Henry ran, praying not for a medical miracle, but for a simple erection. He arrives home to find his wife, Bette, with their neighbor, Frank. He tells her they need to have sex immediately. She tells him that since their son Peter's death, he's become just a plain jerk. She then reveals she's been sleeping with Frank. She wishes he were dead, and he replies, "Then today is your lucky day." Henry arranges a gathering of old friends to say goodbye, but only one person shows up. The friend is still angry that Henry stole his high school girlfriend, Gloria, decades ago. Henry, dying, can't believe his friend only wants to talk about himself. Henry knew the Brooklyn Dance Academy was on the other side of town. But he needed to tell his son, Tommy, how he felt. He needed to tell him that he loved him. He had to do it now, before it was too late. Sharon was lost and exhausted with regret. She considered all the stupid things she had done in the last 2 weeks. All the stupid things that had left her in this sad state. Henry finds a woman on the street to film a final message for his son. "Tom, I'll make this as simple as I can. I love you." He admits he was selfish for wanting Tommy to join the family law firm. I was wrong. I hope you can forgive me. He then begins to rage against God and the unfairness of the world. Anger is the only thing I have left. Anger is my refuge. It's my shield. As he speaks, he collapses from the strain. When Henry regained consciousness, he discovered something. He discovered he couldn't even tell his son he loved him without exploding with rage. Sharon finds the woman who filmed Henry's message. She learns that he went to the Brooklyn Bridge. She finds him on the ledge and tells him she just wants to help. I lied about the 90 minutes, she confesses. She admits it's because her cat jumped out a window and she was having a bad day. She confesses to her pill addiction and her affair with his doctor. If you jump, she says, our lives will be completely destroyed. He tells her she gave him 90 minutes, and his time isn't up yet. As Henry jumped from the bridge, time slowed down. And Henry realized that life didn't have to be wasted. It was short, fragile, and unique. And every hour, every minute, every second could have something to offer. The fact that this only occurred to him seconds before hitting the water and dying made him very, very angry. Sharon jumps in after him. She pulls him from the East River, saving his life. He checks the time. It's 6:03. He has 19 minutes left. He insists on seeing his son, Tommy, before going to the hospital. They hail a cab, only to find it's the same driver from Henry's accident. Sharon, fed up, attacks the driver and takes control of the cab. She asks Henry if he wants to see his son by 6:22. Then get in the car. They are quickly pulled over by the police. Henry decides to tell the officer the absolute truth. He recounts the entire bizarre story of his day, from the accident to the bridge. The story is so strange, the officer believes him. He agrees to give them a police escort. Henry arrives at the dance studio and finds his son, Tommy. Instead of talking, they begin to dance. In that moment, they reconnect without words. Sharon checks the time. It's 6:22. And he's still alive. In the ambulance, he closes his eyes, finally at peace. No one expected Henry to survive another day. Instead, he lived for 8. In those 8 days, he had long conversations with his wife. He shared one last sandwich with his brother. And he cheated his son at cards. His tombstone would read Henry Altman, 1951 to 2014. He realized it's not the dates that matter, but the dash in between. For 8 days, Henry Altman was no longer angry. Except at the very end. Except when he told death to go to hell. No one expected Sharon Gill to return to her old life. And in fact, she didn't. She quit her job that very day. She gave up the pills and Dr. Felden and took a job at a clinic. She became the doctor she always wanted to be. As Henry Altman prepared to enter the East River for a second time, he added being in the East River to the list of things he hated. But he also felt peace. He was secure in knowing that, somehow, he would live on in the hearts of those he loved. His family's memorial is interrupted by a man on a boat. In a final tribute to Henry, they get into a classic, angry argument with the stranger. If you want a recap of your favorite movies and shows, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. See you next time, everyone.